I think it's the Rel. I think that's a scary situation, particularly in the early game, to be having to play that champ. So it's interesting. They felt strong enough and secure enough in it to pick it last. Real quick, both of you guys, your way first. Who are you predicting to win this game?
I like Ace's composition more, but that also means Team Wales is going to win because we always go to 3 games. And of course, I want to have my guests on as long as possible, so it's going to be Wales and Lilia Supremacy, obviously.
All right, Rebel, you agreeing with that?
I actually have faith in AS Esports for maybe the first time in Split to actually take the series. I like what they've done with their comp, and I don't like a lot of what Wales showed the last game with this composition, so I'm going to go AS Esports.
I love it. Great to hear some positivity going the way of AS Esports. Maybe they earned it after that last game. We'll see whether they can earn it again here in Game 2 as we toss you over to our casters, Brillman and Mabinogi. Take it away.
Thank you very much. Our wonderful Atlas desk provided us with all the needed base information to take a look at that game. But I'd like to follow up and continue on that, really. And this is something that really boggles in my mind. So in the previous game, we saw Playcool step up massively.
Are we doing it again? No, we're
yep,
okay,
we are.
Ring around here, is he? Just a spam party. Yeah. All right. Well, we're back at it. Fantastic. We got to see it.
Great.
Back to
now,
what you were saying?
the formalities are out of the way, so back to the point where we just beat each other to blood and death. But, so Playco stepped up massively in the previous game. And I'd like to know your opinion on how do you spin this around, Matt? Because you want to shut down Silas, right? Now, you've seen what he can do. You gotta try to shut him down. And now he's got even more good ultimates to work with, right?
Yeah, namely that hostile takeover can absolutely be a menace, and I feel like that was part of the reason why, that Silas was part of the reason why they didn't go for the Renata last pick in that first game. They did hover it briefly before switching to Tom Kench. And yeah, I think that was part of the reason. And this time around they decided, well, Silas is already going to be has the potential to be a monster anyway. We might as well try and make sure our team fight is as good as possible. That's what so they've just gone for this, and I like to see it. Early step forward on CBL. Gonna get punished a little bit by the remount. But...
the trades are pretty nice. Pretty nice for both, actually, of the bot lanes, respectively. Can't say there was a clear winner.
Early level 2 in both side lanes is looking very good for the side of Team Wales. This Lilia able to shove away very quickly with that passive plus the Q. So they're going to be doing quite fine. And I'm very interested to see how the adaptations to this work out. You're not going to have quite as much range advantage without that gangplank come the later team fights compared to last game. Plus, so I think this might work out a little bit safer for the Wales. They might feel a little bit more confident taking the team fights. Unfortunately, Hyo's on a champion that is now always useful, always has that ultimate button, even if he falls behind. And Zinth can still sort of do the ignore spell shield thing with his engage, because while you can't necessarily get the knock up, you can follow up with the stun, and that should always land, and should feel pretty comfortable landing that onto Ariadne, but yes, not nearly as effective as that Alistar, plus you can't build things like Shurelias as freely, so we're going to have to see how well Zin plays out this one. Killer Queen once again paying attention to this top side, but Gwen's a lot harder to gank than the Gangplank, especially when, pushed on the tower. Not in a dangerous position at all.
Killer Queen, though, seems to be determined to actually try and do something about FLT. Here, in the meantime, is on the bot lane. And look at that. That's a much better setup. Azuzi now steps forward. Flash taken away immediately. Traded by all three, actually. Even Zin flashed forward. But he feels a bit for nothing. Yes, the Ignite is going to come through as Ariete fires away his autos. But it feels like AC have overstepped a bit. Oh my god, CBL, you actually might be caught away here. But the laser is not going to connect. A bit of a whoopsie from both of the teams, I'd say.
So very well played by the side of Team Wales to get out of that with only one flash blown. Well, you blew the heal as well, but that's 3 flashes and ignites. That's a huge win. Like, you'd lose a bit of lane pressure, but they can't necessarily capitalize on it because you can just keep the waves shoved as Sivir. But yeah, so it's gonna buy Uzi a quick back, a nice cheap recall, but overall that's huge. That's a really good play from Team Wales, and back interrupted by Zin. Just gonna try and keep him there, but yeah,
big
still
question
feels pretty good.
That boggles in my mind right now is Killer Queen, right? Because we've seen him in previous games to pay so much attention to the top lane. With Gwen now around, it's going to be a bit harder to do so, right? And based on the experience of the previous game, you would just expect him to either shut down Uzi as soon as possible or try to shut down Playco. So far, we haven't seen neither of that. We haven't seen Killer Queen trying to unleash himself on the lanes just in general. So that might be something that is going to be actually a downfall of Wales, no?
So the top side, I feel, isn't really indicative of the game plan per se. Just feels more like that's naturally where he sort of wound up after clearing out his jungle path. I definitely want to see him try and hit this mid lane. Of course, you actually get a decent amount of setup with that charm if it lands. Unfortunately for him, ASE is playing very safe. They are not really giving him these opportunities. All three waves are shoving in, but Killer Queen, he's not really a fast enough jungler to just go in and take camps and try and make the enemy jungle useless. And once again,
onto Glory now. Spirit Rush is going to be used as well, but the handshake, I believe, disconnected.
Not quite land, so ultimate blame for play called pretty much just to clear the way, but everything's still up for Glory. But this opens up Dragon.
Oop, last cone to get back in. Things up Playco, even interrupted his recall to try and hold Glory in the lane for a little bit of time. And here is just going to secure out with the spies. Pretty much of a good setup for SE and good read of the situation.
Yeah, we're just sort of seeing a bit of a downfall with this Viego pick when you actually have almost too much control. Like the lanes are just being hard shoved. You can't get in, but as I say, you're not a fast jungler. You can't really sneak in, walk in, clear a whole side of the jungle before the enemy gets there. So,
noticing Lullaby now connecting onto LLC, but Nogia not stepping forward. Might have had enough mana to do so. I believe now he can't really go for a tower dive. LLC though steps back, decides to take a fight here and loses its turret plate for that.
Looks like the cooldowns weren't quite there for Nagia to really capitalize on that lilting lullaby, but gets a plate. That works out quite nicely from Flash for both of these top laners. So actually playing it very safe from the side of LLT. Just this game is just being very, very slow, very stable. A few CS advantages for the side of Team Wales.
Uzi already used his cleanse. The Ignite is ticking. CBL has the bailout, but it's a bit too late. And that's a trade of kills. Uzi takes one.
They killed Uzi too fast, and the tower shot landed and killed CBL late after. That's so sad. That feels real. That's like the worst outcome possible. Glory under a bit of pressure, but if they go too far, Killer Queen can respond. And yeah, look, it starts off really well, but they unfortunately just have too much damage. They kill Uzi. CBL gets a tower shot, and feels real bad.
Well,
and overall, traded for a Rift Herald on the top side, and now he looks like he wants to make a play on mid.
Might try and do so, but there's quite a few people from Wales, although Killer Queen has just recalled back to the banks, and it seems like AC are going to step back out of it. The only thing I am seeing, and I'm not sure, maybe you can explain that to me, but if you have your lanes permanently shoved in, so as a jungler, what you can do is to actually get access to the objectives, right? So far, we've seen ACs take all the objectives, pretty much everything, the dragon, the herald, and now maybe even going towards a kill here, as the Blastgo is not going to deliver here because he's not going to use it yet.
Yeah, they're not sure where Killer Queen is. They saw the mist, but they weren't quite sure where it was. As for that, yeah, Killer Queen's been trying a little bit hard to force ganks in the mid lane, and his pathing's been a little bit weird and led him away from objectives, and that's given Hyo the opportunity to just sort of sneak them against the run of play, and they've pushed aggressively in the bot lane when they wanted to go for that dragon. They had decent control of the top side, plus saw Killer Queen on the bot side when they went for the Rift Herald. So pretty much just reading roughly where Killer Queen is very well, playing around the vision, and mostly this is it's kind of just a fault on Killer Queen trying a bit too hard to force the lanes instead of just going for objectives and bringing his lanes to him.
And it feels like ACE are actually really well at adapting, right? Because previous game, it was a completely different situation. Yes, Wales are still in a lead in terms of gold, but the objectives are on the side of SE. They do have a Herald as well, and they still have just a little bit of a time window to try and drop it and get that gold lead little less, all right? But just in general, when you look on the map, it's much more stable. Previous game was so fast, with extreme pace just pretty much all across the map, because Wales have decided to put pedal to the metal, and then AC then just suddenly stepping up, right? So feels like they decided to adapt to the playstyle of Wales, not allow them to take too many leads, and it feels like it works out for them decently well.
Yeah, I mean, they won that last game pretty much by just waiting out the aggression and just beating them in the team fight, so they're gonna probably just try and look to do that again. Playful does not actually have the mana to continue. Neither does Glory, though, really, so this is probably going to fizzle out.
So quickly, with no kills taken away, nothing. And Lilting Lullaby, in the meantime, has been taken away. Oh, LT takes so much damage, even flashes away the little orb from Lily, and Nagia now pretty happily, with all the dominance that he has set it on the top lane, forces LT to back, and potentially forces both summoners if LT decides to teleport.
This is pretty much the only major advantage coming out from the side of Team Wales right now. This top lane control is just so dominant from Nagia. He's gonna be in a possible situation if he doesn't get away there quickly enough. But overall, they found a window to take the dragon. But they have to be a little bit scared of the Rel and the Wukong just running at you, because they have a very strong AOE engage to pull up on. So don't want to fall foul of that. Glory has to be a bit careful once again. Rift Herald just going to be dropped. I don't necessarily think you want to stick around too much under all this engage, but CBL in position.
Killer Queen is here too. Maybe they want to try and force some kind of a fight, but SE are very quick to disengage, as LT also runs towards his teammates screaming for help, because that really is just a little bit scary. You know, if you have a very big deer chasing you down, then probably you've done something a little bit wrong in your life.
Thankfully, no real antlers, but a lot of poison to work with, so not quite as obviously threatening, but definitely still as scary. This game is just the complete opposite of that last one. Just so slow. No one's really pushing for anything. Just taking objectives where they can. A very laid back Rift Herald push. Teams so damn even. It's just that as well, just about 2k, just shy of it for Team Wales. As we said, once again, just pretty much just off a few tower plates, some CS. Just a very quiet, controlled game, and that doesn't necessarily bode well for them when we saw their struggles in team fighting. They might feel a little bit more confident on this draft with the Renata and the Lilia, but I feel like they still need to break something open, and maybe this is it. It is Gwen.
LT in so much trouble, gets into his mist, even takes the needlework out too, but the Lilting Lullaby might be just enough to kill him. Killer Queen, though, tanks so many turret shots, they still haven't killed him! And he dodges and steps away the orb. Nagia now stepping forward, tries to go for kill confirm, finally gets it connected as Killer King gets it. Nobody dies for Wales, but it was a very scary fight.
Yeah, and Hyo's just a bit too far away to really pick up on it.
Oh! No way! No flipping way!
So close, and flash blown, ultimate blown, feels so bad for Hyo. But in the end, Team Wales get away with murder and get a cherry on top of the whole process. So they're feeling real good right now. And yeah, this takes so long. They don't have the most damage right now, and Gwen's still kind of hard to kill, just very mobile. The towers do a lot of damage, so they can't quite do it. That Blooming Blow is missing, just felt so bad, but they wait out the tower, let it reset in terms of damage, so they can do this a lot more comfortably, and they take it down, and all in all, it's a nice dive, but you just feel a little bit sad that it could have gone a bit better, but it feels alright getting that extra flash that you had no right taking.
It's that little cherry on top that you have been talking about, and despite the fact that it's a bit dirty from the side of Wales, it's not exactly the cleanest of plays that they haven't been introducing in this game. Now they do have the 2k gold lead. They've taken away the first tower, I believe. I believe it is the first one for them. Therefore, it's a bit of that more extra lead. Also, with their Herald on top of it all, they can try to accelerate it somewhere as well. Maybe Crackcap would have been the mid lane to try and get the hold of those objectives on the map, as we have a Cloud Drake coming up in just 1 minute, right? So it feels like, okay, if you've taken that lead, if you now have 1 kill on Ariati, 1 kill on Killer Queen, they can be pretty much of a deal breakers when it comes to those team fights, and Glory is just naturally in the lead thanks to almost 30 CS advantage on the lane. So what you can do is go, crack up open mid, make play cool to step back and retreat and try to de-push as you take away the dragon, or do that in reverse order as much as you wish.
Yeah, it's a bit of a fumble on the lane assignments in that they gave away that tower bot lane for free, but they managed to get that first brick topside, and they didn't even have to use that Rift Herald to do it, so that's going to feel really good, because, yeah, as you said, 30 seconds here, gonna just try and get wave control. They should have it, but good setup for ASE. They control the river, they have all the vision down, and of course, you don't really want to be checking in because the engage potential is very strong.
Cool, stepping forward, here comes a hostile takeover, not gonna, well, okay, gonna hit at least one person, Glory, locking up on a place just for a bit of a second. Spirit Rush forward, trying to go onto Uzi. They recognize the threat, and they know what Uzi have done to them in the previous game, but Jen, with the massive knock-up LLT, takes the kill. That's the trade now. Playco stepping forward, but he's alone into the whole team of Wales. As I see, as they do need to step back now. Nagia, flash forward, gets the 2 lilting lullabies underneath the turret. Double instant for Glory as the jump connects. Flash away from Uzi there, playing on the edge of a knife with the play call, flashing forward onto Ariati, but Ariati flashes it away too. A lot of resources burned from both of the teams. You can feel the tension. You can feel that Wales do want that revenge for the previous game.
They need to back away. They need to let Uzi's, they need to let his ult time out. The Boomerang Blade, clips onto Uzi. There's still a bit of a health lead for the side of ASE, because Playcool, like, he's on about half health, but he has that King Slayer in pocket, so feels safe enough. CBL just really wants to stop it back. Doesn't quite find the range, and that's, yeah. Overall, it is a win for Team Wales. They get more kills out of it, but Killer Queen going down so early once again. ASE know to just focus and delete this Viego, and then they should end up winning a lot of the fights. You're actually managing to sneak that away with a good Q. Now Killer Queen starting up this dragon. They're going to go for round 2, but there's a good flank from Gwen.
You can see the LLT now lurking in the shadows, ready to go and zoom into that river. As Q steps forward, LLT now in the midst of it all. He takes a bit of damage now, goes immediately down to Killer Queen. He has to flash away or hard break his way away because he's really taken down. But LLT was chipped away as he tried to retreat, and it seems like Wales this time around and the clear winners. There's Lilting Lullaby is going to connect onto the Monkey King. He is out of the competition, 3-0 on the side of Ace, and with a second dragon picked off too.
This time much cleaner around. The Killer Queen survives by the hair on his chin, manages to get a reset, and then from there feels all good. Uzi pretty much untouched, but just so much damage from Nagia, really being the big star of that fight, able to put out so much damage. But in the end, Dragon, Tower, 3 kills, it all comes up fantastic. And if we just watch here, so close from Killer Queen, he even had the bailout on top of him, and then LT ends up overstepping, trying to sort of follow up on that. And then here, Nagia's just rushing in, getting so much down. A Lilting Lullaby came back up again, so he can pick up that double kill, and He's feeling really happy right now. They pick up the well, of course, and it's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a messy team fight because nobody had any ultimates or anything to work with, but in the end, that just means that Team Wales come out a little bit better because they have item advantages. They just feel a little bit more ahead.
But it is sort of a recreation. It's sort of a deja vu that we've seen from the previous game, right? Because it's 20 minutes, it's 5k gold lead for Team Wales, but again, they have the Silas, and again, they have Zeri, piloted by Uzi most importantly. And you can see that every single time Uzi is in a team fight, it almost feels like a madman is playing him, as Cyclone actually connecting through onto Killer Queen. Heartbreaker over the wall, double one even. They're going to claim that kill. Killer Queen really oversteps in that season.
Steps in, puts the ward down, but he's just in front of two people who can just jump on top of him. And then the stolen Heartbreaker, so he can't even sneak his way over the wall. It's going to be a bit of a lost pressure on the map. Thankfully, there's no real objectives to take. There's Baron, of course, but no one's really wanting to take that at this early on. So it's a bit of gold back for the side of ASE. It feels bad for Killer Queen, but it's not in the end going to amount to too much. Bounties have arrived on the map for ASE. Look, it's 5k, bit less, one dragon ahead. I genuinely, man, please remove bounties because they're just so arbitrary on where they come on. I've seen much bigger advantages not get bounties. I don't know. I hate this. I hate this system.
It's always when I look at the kill difference, not the kill difference, the goal difference. It feels like there's a massive advantage, but just knowing the tendency of League of Legends is going, we've got 8,000 gold advantage, but it matters not because the enemy team just finds a way how to bounce back and be in the lead because we can. So it is a huge advantage, but even in the previous game, we saw exactly that, right? It doesn't mean that ACE won't be able to hold on for a bit longer, take those bounties, take some of the good team fights thanks to Uzi, and then just basically slice their way into that second win.
We saw it in that first game for sure that they had like an 8,000 gold deficit. They won one team fight, took 2 towers, and then that was 5,000 gold straight back into their pockets, bringing it down to a 3k lead for Team Wales. And from there, that's easy to play into. Already, once again, a little bit safe. They're still a little bit hesitant pushing into this, into the darkness, Team Wales. And fair enough, there is just so many good pick tools on the side of ASE that walking into darkness unawares, without a helping hand, without a buddy system, feels really dangerous. Really, it's only Nagia who feels pretty confident right now.
Shirelius has been procced, I believe, as Cyclone. I hear, but I don't think he's going to be able to make it away. Even with the charm, it's not going to be something to help him get out of the situation. And
Flash just came up for Hyo. It was about a second away for him to get over that wall. And jungler dead, Baron on gonna happen. Now it is close quarters. You are all grouped up in a pit, so Xin can do a lot of damage here. So can play cool with the stolen ultimate. CBL has to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, he's going to be knocked up in the air by the Magnet Storm and even stunned too. Hostile takeover, not going to connect too much as LT had to get away from that cheeky situation. He's going to burn away and die. Bailout has worked onto that Lilia, but Uzi flashes over the wall, chases down the rest of Wales. Look at the damage. He just chips away the Chemtech Baroness. Now going on to Ariete. He's going to eat that just a bit, but they're looking to try and prolong and they're going to take him down underneath the tower too. Uzi's just massive in the fight. But Ariete gets him down. Triple. The Quadra. He saves the day.
Just the triple, but it doesn't matter. It saves the day. But that's 4 Baron buffs removed, and they get to pick up a dragon from ASE because of the respawn timer from Hyo. That's gonna have a bounty on top of it for free. So overall, I still feel pretty happy with that trade if I'm ASE. And that tower doing so much work at the back end there. As we just see, they go on to Nagia, who is a little bit out of position, and then this ultimate pops it down for Nagia. He thinks he's dead. He doesn't quite realize that burn is going to be enough to kill Gwen. But that's it. They took so much damage. They felt a little bit out of sorts to Team Wales. So ASE pretty much on full health go running in. They feel super confident. They try and take it, but the fourth man is there in the tower, and the ramping damage pretty much nukes Uzi from half health. So that kind of made that feel a little bad. But in the end, taking 4 Baron buffs away still feels pretty damn good. So the siege is going to be a little bit fumbled, a little bit low. Dragon Soul is now 10 minutes away. Kilquane, you have to stop being so aggressive, my friend.
But an important notice. Salas reached his power spike. There's 2 items available to him. And Zeddy with 3 as well. Glory now goes over the wall onto Hero. Hero flashes away. He's burning and he's sleeping. Therefore, he's dead as LLT is now in the midst of it all. Hostile takeover is going to stop him from doing absolutely anything, and Wales walk away from that fight thanks to CBL.
One kill. In the end, the Baron is only up for 30 seconds if they have to reset, so not actually going to get anything else off of that, but a bit more gold into the pocket, 7k just about, and yeah, it's still feeling like they can't quite break it open yet, but they are finding good picks. They're disengaging pretty well, but this Zeri is still just so hard to get on top of. And they doesn't feel like they can really deal with it in these fights, so still just struggling, still just trying to make things happen. Oh, but LLT is definitely out of position.
He has no mana. He has the flash actually doesn't have the flash available to him, so he actually pretty much doesn't really have anything. Yes, he's going to dash away, but the kill is going to be just way too easy for Glory to pick up, as Wales do find those individual picks all across the map right now. It feels like Ace losing the concentration just a little bit thanks to that miraculous team fight that they have pulled off. Yes, Ariete was able to walk away with the triple kill, but they're still, ACE are still in the game. But these small mistakes now and there feel like they're losing that concentration, losing that very strict look at the game.
At the end, it's coming out okay for the side of ASE. Like, they don't respond in a way to defend that bot lane tower, which means Team Wales do end up trading up as well, but their lane position, their wave control is left in the state that ASE were able to get back that tower.
Ooh, hey, with the triple man knock up, here comes Hostile Takeover, maybe. Stolen away by Play Cool. Here comes Zin in the midst of it all, but it's just not really enough. Anything is not really enough, as Lilting Lullaby now connects. Naguya takes down Uzi just underneath his sword. Yes, he's going to pay with his life for that, but Wales are pretty much in control. Killer Queen, though, and out of position. Shane's reach him on the widest and longest of ranges.
Killer Queen, what are you doing over there? You're in absolute no man's land, not getting anything done. Nagia is trying to kill Uzi. He gets to be that far.
Ariati now, here comes Lilty as well. They're just forcing them out. Bailout, yes, it's there. But now LLT just flashes over the wall and chases down CBL. Goes for him too, burns his flash as well to top it off. As Glory will be able to get away on that blast cone, but I think the ACS, they're not done. They're chasing him even furthermore.
He's gotten Spirit Rush back up again, so this is probably going to signal a disengage, though they still have that wrap around.
Still chasing him down. He's cutting him off, but Teleport now coming through. Nagia is about to join as Glory flashes away, connects the charm. Glory outplays them all as Nagia is going to claim that kill. Kill confirmed, target down. And now it's mid laner of Ace who's running away, but Zen is here. Another teleport being used. Glory is about to come back. Killer Queen is here, CBL and Glory as well. Play Cool, though, is really, really low. He's going to flash away. Hostile Takeover, not going to find a single target, but Zin was going golden, and he's going to pay with his light for that. As Uzi, yes, he steps forward, but there's nothing he can do to try and save the Monkey Queen as he gets away on his roller coasters, and it's about time to pull the trigger onto the Baron that is going to come back in 10 seconds.
So after all that nonsense, yeah, ASE is feeling a little bit out of place for this Baron take. They can send down Uzi and Playful to just quickly pick up this dragon as a consolation prize, but second Baron for the side of Team Wales. This time they're not going to immediately lose 4 of them. Let's see if they can actually make it work this time, try and start breaking the base. But now Dragon Soul point for ASE, Baron for Team Wales. It's now time for the game to really... Oh my god, CBL!
No way!
You can't do that!
Can we see a replay, please? I want to see how did that happen. Renata doesn't have that much damage. How did that happen?
Renata has 0 damage. This should not be allowed. Oh,
Stop
okay,
doing
so
illegal things.
Team Wales get everything. Nights out. ASC just FF. I FF out of tilt. That's what I'd be doing that at this point. But well, that's what happens when you don't have a jungler. I suppose the support comes up and takes your dragon that should have been free. And all right, got Baron on all 5.
Puts Wales, though, in a very good position because they've denied the bounty, they've taken the dragon, they put themselves on the Cloud Soul point, and they also have the Baron out in their hands. All 5 members, if I understand that correctly. And yes, we're going to see replay with that. I'm very curious.
They know he's there, but of course, rightfully, they're just like, who cares?
Are you kidding me?
That was a handshake as well. It wasn't even the rockets. That's unreasonable. That's unreasonable.
Have to be now on the verge of breaking in terms of their morale. They are falling behind 10k. It's a significant fall behind now. It's not anymore 8,000 as we've seen in the previous game, but it's around that 30-minute mark when we saw them to be able to turn the game around. But Wales are just taking everything, and it feels like ACE are just collapsing underneath the pressure of Wales. And now you just need to try and hope that Killer Queen oversteps one more time, overdoes something as Playcool steals the ultimate from Renata. Might be a way to try to pull the trigger.
This time, the siege is going to be effective. Going to break down this Elder Inhibitor as the focus went to defending mid lane. Seems fair, makes a lot of sense, but now bot side open. Second wave going to come in. There should be 2 inhibitors with ease, unless Playcool is looking to make the play. The grouping up is there. The option for the wombo combo is available. They're just so scared of Nagia right now. And this counter pick, now you're not feeling so happy about picking Gwen anymore. It's not quite as free with Nagia having this pocket Lilia that I definitely wasn't expecting.
The impact of that Lilia in this game has been just obnoxious to the side of AC. How many kills have they were able to claim because of that lilting lullaby, and how many more they can potentially try to claim as an ulti active with the trigger. Here comes Flashboard and Magnet Storm onto that Lilia, the one we've been talking about, but she's way too fast. Lilting lullaby is going to connect as Zenigear now re-engages, does so much damage, heals himself up, hostile takeover, he just takes the kills. Killer Queen is going to help him, and by the looks of it, yes, that is indeed, that's it. Hio tries to re-engage, tries to buy time for Uzi, he's firing away, but Ariadne in the meantime gets down Silas. Uzi being outflanked, and Wales in that team fight, they have pressured and choked AC out of the game. We're going into the game 3.
Look, Ariadne felt really bad for that first game, so he kind of stepped up a lot more this time around, but overall, just huge improvement from the side of Team